Hola, bonjour, and mabu hey, everybody. You are listening to Worldwide Tea. It is the international drag race podcast where every week we recap international seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. As always, I am Evan Sadi from Pop Matters.
I'm Gregory from the playlist.
And y'all, because we decided to separate our coverage for Drag Race Philippines Slaysian Royale, thank you, everyone who's been listening and commenting and providing us the corrections that we so kindly
Oh,
ask for every single time. Genuinely, truly, we love our fans. Thank you so much for everything. We do appreciate it. By the way, thanks to y'all, because as we found out from a press release earlier in the week, not only is there going to be a drag-based girl group that is being formed from Filipina queens, my God, this has the largest premiere. Slaysian Royale had the largest WoW Presents premiere in history for at least a on app up show. Almost 50% more than the Drag Race Philippines 3 premiere. Holy crap, y'all. I'm glad y'all are here
yeah.
with us. It's a fun time.
It's amazing. And by the way, I think there's an asterisk. I think, they for the main, I think that doesn't count the main RuPaul's Drag Race season that gets shown on WoW for international players. But it's still absolutely incredible. And I think anyone who's a fan of Drag Race Philippines does not need to worry about future seasons. I think it's going to be around a long, long time.
Exactly. Including this episode, we were talking about
Yes.
episode 3 of Station Royale. And for y'all who need to be caught up, guess what? They walk right in, and guess what? Something Long has gone, and no one's sad. To be
And
real.
not only are they not sad, they don't even talk about what her mirror message was. They don't even reference it at all. They're just like, nope, we're gonna wash it all
Uh,
off.
we're good. Also,
There,
Arizona Brandy she also picked something Wong, so the fate was sealed either way.
yes.
Yeah.
And also Yuha does they tease something at the beginning of the episode. Yuha in confessionals says, "Are we really that bad? Are the international queens really that bad?" And I think this episode was meant to show, no, actually, they're not.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
they we find out, I don't know why I have it at this point, but I was like, they tease Pangina. Oh, I guess during the like segue to the next day, they show that Pangina is going to be the guest host, and it's great to have Pangina back. We'll talk more about Pangina later, but I noticed right away she's not in drag for the judging, and I was sort of surprised considering Jimbo was in drag and like Maxi was in drag. Did you clock that? Like, what did you think?
It was an odd thing to do, but then again, her and Mama Pao did each other favors. But I thought when Mama Pao showed up for Thailand, I thought she was in drag. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but I thought she dressed well.
Oh.
I don't know.
I actually, you know what? Now that I remember, I think she wasn't. I don't think
Okay.
she was in
So
drag.
then I think that might be
Maybe
more of a
it,
tit for
yeah.
tat kind of thing. It is funny though when Mama Pao comes in the workroom next day and says, "There's only 10 cows left." I'm
No,
kidding. I'm kidding. My goodness. They have a mini game, Greg. They have a game this week, and it is Kep Boobay. And
loved it.
it is the
So
most
fun.
insane thing I've ever seen. Oh, it was so
Cup,
delightful.
poupée. Cup, poupée.
Boobay, Kep. It's just like it was a childhood game. They're all doing it. I do not know where the fuck Siam Pushi gets her outfits from, and we'll talk about that in a minute too.
Yeah.
But incredible. It really feels like Kiana's gonna win yet another fucking mini challenge, but nope. It is Brigading who ultimately wins this insanely stupid and wonderful challenge. It is incredible. But with it, she gets
Wait,
a prize. Go ahead.
Evan, sponsored by Oro Chocolate.
Oral chocolates.
So
Oral.
you know what? They need help with their We need to always bring up their sponsors. We need to make sure that they get more money for their sponsors. Wow, take these impressions, add it to your list of like impressions for them, for
100%.
advertising. But before we go on, just really quick thing that was shown in the edit, right even before the mini challenge. Kitty has a lot of fire underneath her. She wants to prove herself. And Arizona wants a badge. There's a lot of telegraphing in the beginning of this episode in the edit. Not mad at it. Some of it is uh, uh, like a red herring. Like you think
Mhm.
it's something, but it really isn't. I thought it was that these editors are on their game, as we talked about last episode. They're really killing it.
But it's a really fucking cool challenge because it is a design challenge and it's
Yep.
technically an untraditional materials challenge because what they're dealing with is fossilized cacao leaves. And this is something that farmers have been able to create. They're very thin, they're very moldable. There's a lot that can be done with them. They can be see-through, and every queen is given an allotment of 900 of those leaves, and they have to make the look primarily out of it.
And
It's Go ahead.
I was just going to say also, we've never seen this on any franchise ever. They were
Mhm.
made specifically for the challenge. They even showed video of them making it, which I thought was just a nice breaking out of the drag race mold. I thought that was so cool. I wish more international franchises would do stuff like this where they like talk about their country in a way and like use the culture outside of the studio to like bring it in, for those few international. Although this is one where this is a season that tons of international viewers are watching. So it's actually a good tourism selling point for the country in some ways. But anyway, I wish more of them would do it.
Yeah. And so as part of it, they all have different colors of these leaves to
Yep.
choose from. There's black and there's red and other stuff like that. And Brigading, as part of the challenge win, gets to pick the queen that she wants to pick last of those colors. She picks Suki Doll because we all know Suki Doll is a design diva. And Suki Doll's like, it didn't matter. And you know what? I even wanted this
Yep.
color. I'll take it anyway. She's totally fine. My God, Greg, I'm sorry, when Pau does the walkthrough, when she talks, she's so fucking vicious. I fucking love her. When she's looking at the design that Venus is doing, she says, "Ah, so you're designing a scribble." Just like incredible,
But
truly.
before we get to that, we should just really quickly go down each color that each
Oh
of the
yes, yes,
queens
yes,
took,
yes.
and because they all picked them for different reasons, and some may have made a mistake. Kitty gets to go after Brigading, and she picks blue. Keanu, and by the way, this was based on how they got eliminated in the game.
Hmm.
Kiana is next. She picks yellow. Arizona picks orange, which is interesting. Bernie picks pink, really smart. Venus picks white.
Yeah.
Ivory picks black. And I wrote already, she's already worn black on the runway twice. What is
Mhm.
she doing? CM picks brown, which is a tough, like, choice. I was like, I would have made that the last one.
Yep.
Yuha picks purple, which is pretty safe. And Suki picks teal, which and
Well,
says
she's
it's
forced to
my
pick teal.
choice, and she says it then, and she's not lying because we'll later find out that it did mean something, and we'll talk about that later. But you're right. Mama Pao comes in, and she has a lot of thoughts on some of their designs.
I will also briefly shout out Arizona, our prop diva, walking up to the table with a real badge that she cut out of paper that she has on her chest, like incredible. But yes, Tavinius, does you're designing a scribble. Ivory talks about, oh, and yeah, like I have a couple notes here and there, but for the most
Yeah.
part, it's a pretty calm workroom for the
Oh
most
yeah.
part. Some people struggling, some people not, but like it's pretty good vibe.
Yeah, I thought I wrote that Suki had a really kind moment where she was trying to prop up Ivory,
Hmm.
who was very like worried and nervous. And Ivory talks about the fact that, and I do remember hearing about this far afterwards, but that her mom had died the day that the Drag Race Down Under season she was on, the Meet the Queens was announced. And while the casting happened, she was, there was people getting booked and doing interviews and getting ready for the season. She was going to her mom's funeral
Hmm.
and about how what a weird experience Drag Race Down Under was because of that. Um, Ivory's trying not to cry, and I think even Arizona comes over and is super kind to her about this as well. And Arizona is just, or sorry, and Ivory is she's just like, I just want to do good in one challenge. Like
Yeah.
that's what she wants. She's already made it to further than she had on Down Under,
Yeah.
but she just wants to do well. I think if she had been safe once, that would have made her super happy. Or actually she was safe first episode, I
First
think.
episode, but yeah,
Yeah.
now this is their second time in the bottom. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
But sorry. But so then the judge, we leave the workroom. It's time to do the runways, and the queen's uh Mama Pow comes out. She looks amazing. Uh Khaled Karen looks absolutely incredible.
Mhm.
Um and I wrote again, why is Pangina not in
Pangina is
drag?
there. Pangina was fucking on one this whole episode, though.
Holy
Let it be
fucking.
known.
And by the
Holy,
way,
yeah.
I did love that Mama Pow says to Pangina right before the queens come out, she's like, Jimbo left you a message. And she goes, "Oh, and what did that bitch say?" And she goes, "You deserve it," and then winks. And I was like, I love that because I actually believe Jimbo did tell Pow to do that. And
Which
I thought that was pretty
fucking love.
fun.
Uh,
But by the way, as we continue to talk through every Philippine season, once again, when Mama Pao is saying, "May the best queen win," we have a twist this week. Mama Pao does a twirl after she does it, and I'm like, I like that one.
yeah.
Maybe bring that one back next
It's
season.
almost like what Brooklyn does when she was doing the gestures and stuff every time. It was really cute. It was fun.
Okay,
Holy
this
cacao.
runway. All right, Evan, you want me to go or you want to go?
Go first.
Okay, up first. So first of all, it's Holy Cacao, and Arizona Brandy comes out. I didn't think it was bad. Once again, it's orange. I thought it was very safe. Like, it didn't blow. I didn't think it was going to be at the top. I thought they could have given her safe if they wanted to, but it wasn't great. But it wasn't a disaster. What did you think?
The whole point is that as you see with other runways, they highlight the leaves very well. Some feel like they're made entirely out of that. In this instance, no. I feel like it's half leaves and half other fabric. And I feel like it does a disservice to what the theme of the challenge is. So I agree. It's not bad. And I think her being in the bottom two was a little extreme. But it wasn't gonna win the week. I think we knew that.
Kitty Space comes out with her Terry. By the way, a design she changed in the workroom. It was going to be something else, and she redid it. And she did Drag Race France. So proud. No matter what else happens to Kitty's run, she has proven how top tier Drag Race France queens are. This was stunning. Mama Pal claps. Like, and that is not something Mama Pal does very often. And she is so impressed. I loved this look. What did you think?
I was stunned. I thought it was incredible. And part of the thing about this episode, the only thing that kind of irked me is that in terms of international versus Pinoy girls, is that they really didn't like her look. As we find out in the confessionals later, where they thought she was going to be in the bottom even. And I thought it was just so odd because I'm like, how can you look at this objectively and not feel like it was one of the stronger looks of the week? Go ahead.
I just to add to that, and I was going to talk about it later. I think the Filipino queens, for the most part, and this is not a judgment, they have a different. I'm not saying it's a narrow view, but they have a certain view of drag and fashion that even the European queens or the Brazilian queens or the Mexican queens all don't. That's why it's great that there's international franchises, that
Mhm.
everybody has a different aesthetic that they're pulling up from. And I think if Kitty had worn this in France or on Germany or on Italia, she would have gotten all her peers would have loved it and gotten it and seen it how great it was.
Mhm.
I understand why I still think you're right. Like they should have thought it was good, but I think they also are not taking Kitty seriously. And I hope that this changed their mind because she's fantastic. Okay,
Absolutely.
we up next. Who, our girl CM Pussy is up.
Oh no, we have Kiana. We have
Oh,
Kiana
sorry, Kiana's up. Oh my
in
gosh,
her
so
yellow
sorry.
canary train look. It's solid.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I thought it was very good. I thought it was really good. I liked it.
yeah,
I thought it was pretty. And by the way, not to diminish Kiana, there wasn't really much else to say about it. It was like super
truly.
pretty.
Yeah. Well,
Because
she'll win
next
other
up,
challenges. I'm not worried.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Up next was Sam Pussy, and the irony of her doing a Jimbo look with Pangina there was wild. I don't
This
think she knew
wackadoo. This
Pangina was going to be there.
wackadoo. Walking out on
I
stage. Look at my hair. Look at my boob. Look at my ah. Like, I love this insane woman so much. It is so crazy. I wouldn't even say it's a great look, but the way she presents it is incredible, truly.
I mean, her hair and makeup are great,
Yeah.
and like the she somehow got two safe toots on Fashion Photo Review for this. I don't know how that's. I thought wild, but
Yeah.
they and by the way they criticized it, but then they were like, it's safe
Yeah.
toot. But anyway, I wrote messy but safe, which wasn't really true. Uh, next up, Brigadine. I'm sorry, Yeah, did I say that right?
Yeah, Brigadine. Yeah.
I don't know what. Sorry, guys. We were literally recording back-to-back episodes, so you can rip us in the comments. But we're doing a lot of work
Plowing. We're
today.
doing it.
We're plowing. I loved the volume. I really did. I thought the red color helped the design because I didn't think the design was that like groundbreaking. But I thought it looked super good. I liked it.
It wasn't inspiring to me. Like it was
Oh,
like it was certainly safe more than anything else like that. I just I think I hold Brigading to a slightly higher level. I think House of Ding in general I hold to a higher level. I'm still waiting for Bombading to be on this fucking show, but like it
yeah.
was fine. I kind of wanted a little bit more, but yeah, it was safe for what we're talking about.
Up next was
Ivory.
Ivory. And here's the thing. I didn't think it was that bad. Like I thought it was okay. I thought
Right.
it was I knew she'd be in the bottom because someone had to be in the bottom. But I also wish she'd try to sell it. She tried to sell it more in the confessional. Like she was already like, I know that isn't great and whatever. And I'm like, and what's funny is on Fashion Photo Review, they gave it initially like they gave it a toots. They were like, oh, it's fine, it's toots. And then they went back after the Queen After, which we'll talk about, because that was so much better, and they took away the toots and gave it boots because of our Queen who came up after. Sorry, this is too much tea for that. But the point was, it wasn't as bad as she thought it was, and I
Right.
thought she went in with this negative energy that like it must be bad.
Like, and I'm not saying that the law of attraction is real, but for like, I just want to do well in a challenge, but then you think you're shit in everything that you
Yeah.
do. Like, something's got to give. Like, there has to be a correlation between these things. And so, unfortunately, I think she's a self-defeating queen, and that's unfortunate to see because, again, very talented queen outside of stuff just may not work within the drag race format, as we discussed many times before.
Up next was Venus, and I wrote after this was just crown her.
Just
Like Pangina literally yells, "Oh, bitch."
Yeah.
It
Pangina's throwing shit at the stage. She's like getting ready. She's getting reared up. She's just
Pa-
like, fuck off.
Pangina would go.
The
Pangina wants
face
to go
she
and tip
has.
her. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pangina
Like
wants to tip her on stage. I did think. So this was the thing. I do think it's an absolutely stunning, and it's
stunning.
stunning because of the sculpture on the bodice. Like that is incredible. I will tiny criticism. I wish she'd had more leaves on the train. You
Mhm.
could I think it could have used a little bit more of that. But it is a stunning look, and she looks gorgeous. Like a winner. Like crown her now. Like wow.
She did not come to play. I mean,
No.
she bodied this challenge so hard that's why when I'm like, Kiana's look was fine. It's like, yeah, because it's up against fucking this. Like, let's be real here. Now, I do have to ask though, Greg. Suki Doll's look is up next. Teal with a lot of gold embodiment over it. What was your thoughts on this?
I I mean, I thought so here's the thing. I thought it was great. I understand. I think Venus did win. I think what is hard to take into account here is that if you look close at Suki's work, the interfacing and the layering that she did with those colors is a much harder thing in some ways, and it's very subtle, like in terms of fashion, how she did it. Um, I think also for her to do all of that. Again, it Venus won, but this would have won any other design challenge that any on any other season.
Right.
And even Kitty, like I even would have if they had Kitty not in the top two and they'd given it to Suki instead, I would have been like, that's okay. Like Kitty
Yeah.
killed it and she would have been high and like almost in the top two. Like, but I thought that's what I just wrote the color balancing with the teal. It's just so beautiful.
Mhm.
And Mama Pao clapped. You got to remember,
Yeah.
Mama Pao clapped, and she does not clap for everyone. What did you think?
I did not find it as fashion forward as I think everyone else did. I rep my girl Suki doll over there, but it's one of the things where the lack of a pure focal point kind of took me out a little bit on it. And honestly, it's the same critique I have for Bernie's look, which follows, which has a pink flower idea. It's a
Yeah.
lovely notion. I just don't know where to look. Like my eyes are kind of all over the place there. So yes, I love Suki. I'm repping Suki. I secretly hold that place in my heart that she might potentially win. But like this wasn't as strong of a hit as I was expecting from her, at least personally. I love that the judges loved it. It just wasn't the same wow factor that I got from seeing Venus or even Kitty.
Totally agree. And in fact, for Bernie, I would say she was up next. Um, it's funny, she had shown the design to Mama Pow, and I thought it looked the final version looked uh less simple than in the workroom, so I was happy about that. But the train was just too long. And
Hmm.
it was like dragging, and it was just it was a bit simple in that. Maybe it was simple in that respect. Next up was Yuha. And she's sort of did a purple punk version of what Brigadine did,
Yeah.
which is okay. Like, there's only so many things you can do. I thought she sold it, and I did like that she did something different in a way that the other queens did.
Yeah.
I think Yuha is going to be super safe as long as she's here the whole time, and I think she's okay with that. And I think this was just an example of that as the season goes on.
Yeah, it was fine. I just like she's had some good ideas. The werewolf stuff from the Shutika challenge, like she has some ideas in place. I'm not sure how well they're landing in this format.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I think Suki is having a better time adjusting to it. So it's a weird kind of balance. But man, oh man, do you know that sound effect that sometimes happens when something bad in a show and you hear that little cymbal streak?
Yeah.
That ear. Well, if you're taking a shot every time that happens, get ready for Pangina Heals critiques of Sion Prushi, let me tell you. Because
Well,
you're
before
gonna
we get to that, we have to say
Yeah.
Kiana, Brigading, Bernie, and Yuha were safe, and then the rest of the queens were all left.
Yes.
Um, stop. Are you okay?
We're good.
Okay. But then we have the critiques, and let's try to go in order if we can. So Arizona was up first, and Karen says that she likes the orange, but she thought the look was underwhelming, and I sort of agree with her on that. And she wished she'd used more leaves. Pangina says she picked the wrong fabric, and but she did a good job with what she started with, and that it was messy in the back. And Mama says to Arizona, "Where's the leaf?"
I mean, yeah.
But I do have to say, I once they showed it, Pangina was right. I did not realize how cheap that fabric looked,
Yeah.
and I think that that was a good clock. What did you think?
So very, very, very similar on that front. I had nothing I disagreed with.
Kitty is up next in her critiques. Pangina definitely likes it. She calls it an intergalactic sort of pussy queen. And Kitty's like, that's who I am. Like, that's exactly what I was going for. And she says, well done. Cali Karen loves it. She says it's gorgeous, polished head to toe. Um, and that she loved that the headdress connected and was fabulous. And Mama Pao gave her an amazing compliment. She said she's really improved, which I don't know if she's really improved. Like when, to be honest, they didn't really make any other like they
Effort.
brought all their other clothes. But Kitty takes it, and Kitty is very happy. Uh, and then Siam and Pangina. I gotta say, Evan, Pangina almost crossed the line with how she was
It
judging
was
her here.
rude. It was fucking rude. I'm sorry. Like, it's there's one thing to provide critiques to a queen, and there's another queen to try and basically decimate everything that she's done on stage. Like, it just was not professional, and I think because she had critiqued her so much on Thailand, I think she had that runway too. But also, if this is the way she's treating her on another franchise, no duh, she didn't fucking win her season or do any better because it's very clear she was not one of her favorites, straight up, you know?
I mean she even said I'm not going to sit here and say it's amazing when I clock details.
Hmm.
And then she tried after what however long that diatribe was, she's like going to say I'm not going to say everything is bad. I was like, "Whoa." Like I I just I just thought it was I felt really bad for Siam. I didn't think that the critiques were untrue. I just thought how Pangina did it very much came across as though you were embarrassing Drag Race Thailand. Pangina, you guys embarrassed yourself on Drag Race Thailand. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Yeah. Anyway, I that really rubbed me the wrong way. I give Mama Pow tried to be nice about it. She was trying to like soothe things a little bit, if I'm correct. But anyway, any other thoughts on that or nope?
No, I mean, you
Uh,
nailed it. That was really the biggest thing is that like with every other critique that happened on there, Ivory breaks down. Like there's some moments that happen, but very specifically, Pangina going as hard as she did on Siam felt just wrong. I can't think of other way. She was more than happy to be opinionated, but it just felt so, misfired. The problem is that none of it was as productive as you wanted it to be. At least with
Right.
even with
And
Ivory,
then
they let her feel herself out and speak about it and reassure her. But like, if you're just going to critique for the sake of critiquing, that's not a critique, you know?
I actually wrote like, because then Pangina also sort of rips into Ivory as
Yeah.
well. And Calla Karen was being really nice. She's like, I love the legs, but the look is a bit unfinished. And Pangina's like underwhelmed. I didn't like the jewelry. It didn't like her necklace. Like, that's what you're criticizing. And it was just, I wrote in all caps, was Pangina in a weird mood this day? Like, I felt it the entire episode. She felt off and super aggressive, and I don't, everyone has bad days, but you're a professional on this show. Like, why are you all of a sudden trying to be luxury law on like Project Runway? Like, what happened?
Right. I don't know, and it kind of stained her a little bit for me, if I'm being
Yeah,
real.
totally.
Now, for the sake of time, I'll just say that overall, our tops this week are Kitty, Venus, and Suki. And Suki tells the incredible story of how the look tied into a look she did in tribute to her friend on her original Canada Drag Race 2 season, which was awesome. And our bottoms are Arizona, Siam, and Ivory. And then ultimately, we get down to a top two, and that is going to be Kitty and Venus. And our bottom two is Arizona and Ivory. Now, in the workroom, the queens really get into it. A lot of
Yeah.
people have opinions about Kitty Space. She feels some of it is rude and disrespectful, and there's a little bit of back and forth, and like kind of agree a little bit. Like it's just like you don't know what's going to happen on the runway when the critiques come out. As you noted before, Ivory talks about not wanting to be defined by failure, and so pleads to stay one more time. But Arizona Brandy, being the first Pinoy girl to be in the bottom two, feels a lot of pressure. She feels a lot of stuff has happened. She feels that she's disappointing people. So she's a little bit tearful, and a little bit
Well, you're forgetting she said she was embarrassed.
yes.
And I thought, and listen, Arizona fans, you can come for me in the comments. I don't care. It's an emotional moment. It
Yeah.
totally is. But it's sort of disrespectful to all these queens who've traveled all over the world to be there.
Mhm.
And I'm sure she didn't mean it that way. But at some point, a Filipino queen on this season is going to be in the bottom against with having an international queen like in the top, like judging. It's just the law of averages. Like there was no way all four of them or five of them are going to make it to the final, like or to the top five. That would have been a disaster for the show. That would have been a disaster for World of Wonder. Someone's going to go home, and
Mhm.
it's obviously not her this week, but I was just like, really, like, come on, like yeah, I was just
Yeah.
whatever.
However, I will say that for the lip sync, which is to the song by Winna Winna by Pangina Heals, we don't know what happens. I'm almost positive no one picked Arizona to go home, if I'm being fully
Oh
real.
no.
Exactly, yeah. But also, Kitty Space versus Vinas DeLuxe. I wasn't ever expecting that to happen in my lifetime. I was delighted overall, but also, I love you so much, Kitty Space. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for this win. There was no fucking way you were going to win against Venus Deluxe in this lip sync. I am so sorry.
I I think I actually think Kitty blew the lip sync on purpose. I think she some didn't know the words, like which was, and by the way, they clocked that and they have one of the
Yes.
queens mention
Hmm.
that. And I'm like, maybe she didn't, but she's not that bad a lip syncer. But became friends with Ivory. I don't think she wanted to send Ivory home. And
Hmm.
I think she was more than happy to be in the top two. This is conspiratorially on me. Kitty needs to like confirm or not confirm. Maybe she never will. But I didn't even think she was giving it her all in the lip sync. And Venus noticed it and just was like, fuck it, and just like blew her off the stage. Venus killed in that lip sync. But I
100%.
do think Kitty could have done better if she wanted to. That's my take.
I could see that, and I think next week, if she picked Arizona, then I think she is going to have a target on her back real hard for
Yeah,
the rest of the season.
right.
Absolutely. I think she may have picked Ivory. Who knows how the edit went, but either way, Venus handled that elimination with class. I thought she did it pretty well. Ivory sadly is going home, and unfortunately, I don't think she was really cut out for this show. But overall, even with some of the insane judging from Pangina Heals, a good episode. The
Oh,
show's off to such a good start. Yeah.
I thought it was. Listen, that makes good television. Like I listen. We can critique how Pangina acted, but this is a great episode. I think the season is super entertaining. They cast it super well. But I mean, at this point, Evan, we are only 3 episodes in. We have 10. Who is winning Drag Race Philippines Slaysian Royale?
It's so easy to say Venus because she just won, but I'm sticking with Kiana. I'm sticking with my girl. I think it's going to be hard to beat her, but I will be surprised if if a non Pinoy girl is in the top two, but we'll see. But I say the same question to you though.
I think I I would be shocked if Venus doesn't win. There's just something about her confidence and her edit and her personality. I really think I would be shocked. But 20 million things can happen along the way. But that's my take.
Yeah.
So, but more importantly, really quickly, who do you think is going home next week?
God, I have no idea. I do think a Pinoy girl needs to go just to shake things up,
Yep.
but honestly, who the fuck knows? I truly am. I'm curious. I'm excited. But so far, we're off to an amazing start. Truly,
And we're gonna find out who goes home in another couple days. It's not that far away.
not that far away.
Evan, loving this season. I'm so glad we're doing separate episodes for this. And we have so much to look forward to. I don't even know who next week's guest judge is. Do you know?
I can't remember. That's
Yeah, I
top of
can't
my head.
either.
I hope it's Kiona. But we will see what happens. And either way, everyone, thank you so much for the comments and for listening to us and providing your genuine, honest opinions. We have more soon. Keep tuning in. Look to our episode where we talk about the Drag Race France All Stars and interview the winner of it. You have to
Woo!
tune in. It's so great. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
guys.
All right.
Go to your